Welcome to Comics on Parole. My name is Dan Glazer, and we have the lovely Al in the studio and the lovely Vanessa. Finally, we got the lovely Vanessa in the studio. She'll be coming on shortly. But right now, I want to welcome to the stage Andy Turner and Mr. Jason Benson, who are with Celeb Scene and going to talk briefly about their Chattahoochee River Country Music Festival. There they are. Good to see you. Bobsy twins. Looks just like twins. Now, there's going to be a big festival in July called the Chattahoochee Country Music Festival. And tell us about it.
So we kick off July 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes.
And we wanted to brand something like never been done before.
Right.
We are not just the music side of it. We got a carnival. We got a village that's going to be put together teaching survival.
Right.
We also are
Post a little picture of the
adding in fishing, camping, kayaking, as well as RVs.
Okay, but tell us about some of the stars that are coming.
Right now we've got booked currently.
Yeah, we've released 10 of our 24 hours. We've got 14 yet to be released. Lori Morgan, Deanna Carter, Kentucky Headhunters are some of them, as well as Corey Smith. A lot of people around here know Corey Smith.
And you're still working. You just mentioned a big name you're trying to get on there today.
Well, we've got some that's that we've signed that we're not releasing yet.
Okay, gotcha.
And then we've got the last 2 or 3 that we're working on.
And tell us where this is at.
It's at Fox Hall in Douglas County. It's off of 8000 Caps Ferry Road.
Okay, and July
24th, 25th, and 26th.
And this is all part of your company called Celeb Scene. Let's put Celeb Scene on here. Okay. Briefly tell us what Celeb Scene is.
We are a media and promotions company involved in the entertainment business.
And you're running a movie studio now, right?
We are in Hiram, Georgia.
Okay.
As well as we also have a social media platform. It's kind of a mix between Facebook, iTunes, and TMZ. That revolves around celebrities.
And this is real interesting because on your team with Celeb Scene, we have Jeremy Miller. Jeremy Miller was a little kid in Growing Pains. He's all grown up, 38 years old. He actually was vying for the part in Titanic to DiCaprio and just missed it just by it. He got robbed. Jeremy Miller got robbed. Actually, DiCaprio, what's his name? What's his first name?
Leonardo.
DiCaprio was on Growing Pains with him the last year.
Yes.
And then we have Scott Schwartz. Everyone will remember Scott Schwartz. He was the little kid in The Christmas Story who got his tongue stuck to the metal pole. It was a fake tongue, of course, right? Rubber tongue. And everyone remembers that. So, right?
It was his real tongue.
It was his real tongue?
It had a hole in it with a suction.
And then briefly, Claudia Wells. I always remember this girl because she was the first girlfriend to Marty McFly in Back to the Future, and she wasn't in any other films. I don't want to find out. Talk to her. Ask her what happened. She was never in any other films. Will you ask her for me? Listen, thank you guys for coming on. It's a big honor always having you here. It's your second time. Next time, bring your lovely wife and your family. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, it's time to vamoose the stage to bring up our next. It's a big honor having this gentleman on the show because he's the one who got me started in comedy. Of course, it cost me $500 per class to get started in comedy, but it was a big honor. So what I want to do is welcome to the stage Mr. Jeff Justice.
I love that you have to look down and read my name. The guy that made what's his name again? Oh yeah, right, him.
Jeffrey, first of all, I want to tell you, I mean this. It's a big honor having you on here.
Nice to be here
it's Dan. And it's almost like having Rich Scheidner on there, because you always were on the edge of fame. And
I
you,
was.
You knew Rich.
Right below the edge of fame. Rich was on the other, above the
So
top edge of it.
it all started in 1951 when you were born, and right now we have Mrs. Dietzer coming in, your second grade teacher, who you got caught playing doctor with under the "This is your life, Jeff Justice."
You dug
Come
her
on
up?
out, Miss Dietzer. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
You dug her up? All right.
Okay. Remember, this is your life? Okay.
I do.
Let's calm down. Now, you started out as a magician, correct?
I did.
Okay. And as a little kid, did you do magic?
No, I didn't. I think I was amazed by it, but I didn't start until college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some drunk fraternity brother showed me my first sleight of hand card trick.
Right.
And it was like better than anybody else's card trick that I'd ever seen. So I started doing that, and it just kind of grew from there.
Now, you just said something. First of all, Jeff Justice, I want to briefly say this. He has a very pronounced, I don't know the right, very prestigious comedy class that he's run for 25 years. And this is the gentleman I actually took the classes from.
Hey, don't blame me.
Absolutely. I failed the class. I cheated, but he let me take it over again at a discount. So anyway, this is how I got started. He runs a wonderful class. What's the class actually called?
Jeff Justice's Comedy Workshop.
Okay.
You can find it at jeffjustice.com.
Been doing 25 years. He was when I moved here 30-some years ago, he was a very prominent name in comedy in Atlanta, and much younger then. But, okay, so I heard you say you were a shy guy. The magic got you over being shy, correct?
It did.
It did. How did it just...
Well, I had a job at the Omni. Remember the old magic shop used to be there? It was like this big. It was like right between the ice skating ring and the Delta thing.
Right.
And I worked there 10 hours a day doing magic tricks and selling stuff to conventioneers and doing little groups at a time. I eventually got over my shyness.
So at 30... I remember you said you were thinking about doing comedy, and you called your brother and said, "I'm thinking about doing comedy, but I don't know if I'll be able to handle the fame or really want to be famous."
And now I hear that from so many students. And it was I said I wanted to keep my anonymity because I would have famous people come to my magic shop and people would just bug them the whole time.
Right.
And my brother said, the worst thing you can do is get to the end of your life and say, what if?
Why did I do it?
He says, why not go for it? If it's not for you, you can always stop, but, you know.
And what you did, you tied a little of your magic in with the comedy.
A lot of my magic.
So let's show a clip.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Oh, come on. That's right, it's a German Shepherd. I said that in Macon, Georgia, and this guy goes, well, fella, you just don't know your dogs. Now, this is Rocky. He's a little baby raccoon. I've had him... Hey. Don't stare at her. Hey! No, you don't stare at women you don't know. You know her? All right, if you think you know her, what does she like to do, huh? You like to dance? That'd be a good answer. My favorite thing, I take them into malls and go, excuse me, do you know how to paper train these things? Whoa! Alien. Oh, I got a new trick that I've been working on with them tonight. I want to try it out here. Rocky, come here. Take the cigarette. Yeah, just hold it. It's okay. Hold it in your mouth. Okay, you got it? Good boy. Get out of my face. I'm going to have Rocky hold the cigarette in his mouth, okay? Look out there. Out there. What I'm going to try to do is shoot the cigarette out of his mouth. Get over here. Come on, look out there, will you? Come here. 1. 2. 3. Missed. Recorded me doing that at the big Jeff Justice Comedy Workshop finale where I brought all the stars, except for you, that had graduated from
That's
my
right.
class.
That's right. I have to pay to get on. Now, I could see you practiced that a lot with that little raccoon. It was very skilled what you did. Now, you told me just now you were on Comic Strip Live, which was a big comedy show.
That was that show.
At the Punchline here in Atlanta?
Yes.
Was it always regularly out of Atlanta, or they just happened to come to Atlanta to show that?
Wait, let me see. I don't know if that one was Comic Strip Live or Comedy on the Road.
I do know one thing. I've seen this bit on television. I saw that bit on television because
I've done it. I've done it a few times.
Yeah, I know. Now, briefly tell us because I've always what.
Comic Strip Live was the one in California. That was Comedy on the Road.
Okay, because I remember seeing that on television. Now, I want to briefly tell the audience how you indirectly were responsible for Jeff Foxworthy getting on Jay Leno.
So you want me to tell that story?
Yes.
Okay. So Jeff was supposed to be working at the old Comic Cafe in Marriott.
Yeah.
He got a corporate job on Saturday night, so he calls me up and asks me if I can fill in for him.
Right.
So I said, sure, no problem. So I get up on stage, and I'm telling the audience that night, at the end saying, well, if you came here to see Jeff, I hope you enjoyed my show. He'll be back here tomorrow night and everything. And I finished the show. Well, at the end of the show, I used to sell the raccoons. And at that time, I had a book out called The Pregnant Husband's Handbook. So I would sell that in a raccoon at the end of the show.
Right.
So I'm standing there hawking my products, and this guy walks up and says, you Jeff Foxworthy?
Yeah.
And I look at the guy like he's an idiot. I go, yeah, I'm Jeff Foxworthy. So he hands me this envelope.
Yeah.
And I just throw it in my suitcase, and I continue selling stuff. And I get home, and like a day or two later, I open it up, and it's a summons to appear in court.
Right.
So the guy who's managing him is being sued by somebody, and they're saying that he needs to stay in town as a witness or whatever.
Right.
Well, he just got the call to go on Leno.
Yeah.
So I called him up on Tuesday, and I said, hey, Jeff, I just got this thing, what do you want to do? He goes, oh, please, man. He goes, can you hold on to that for a few days? He goes, I'm flying out tomorrow to L.A. To do Leno.
Right.
So, yeah, sure, no problem. So I call up the lawyer the next day after his plane takes off and says, and told him the mix-up. And they still wouldn't believe I wasn't Foxworthy.
Really?
And finally I had to convince him of it. So he went out there, got to be on Leno, was a superstar. And
in fact, didn't Leno call him and said, hey, kid, I hear you're funny. And he didn't believe it was Leno.
He was in Atlantic City at the time.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, I hear it's telling me to come do the show. And Fox was like, who is this? So comedians are always doing stuff like that to each other.
That is funny. I remember reading the paper the day he quit IBM. They posted in the paper, and he was booked for a month. Okay, now you quit.
It was that big a news, huh?
You got, well, it was in the front
Jeff
paper.
Foxworthy quits IBM.
And he worked for a month. He had a month worth of work, and then after that, he didn't have any more work for a while.
What happened to most of us?
Yeah. Now, you quit comedy. You got married, have a lovely wife who was a country singer, and, right?
Right. She actually used to be a backup singer for Tammy Wynette.
And she makes these grip hits, but we'll get those in a second.
She wrote 2 songs that are on Debbie Boone's "You Light Up My Life" album.
Oh, yeah.
So she had 2 top 20 hits.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty girl. I saw some pictures of her. Very pretty. Now,
that pretty.
That's right. We'll talk about these grip hits. And now, briefly, is she? Oh, she's right here.
No kidding.
There she is, right there. See? Okay. Now, you go into the corporate. Jerry Farber, the famous Jerry Farber, turned his comedy class over to you.
Yes, he
did.
So
let's do a promotion on the comedy class.
There really is no specific demographic. A lot of people think it's just comedians or people that want to be comedians that take the class, which would be a great start for them, but I get people from all walks of life. Everything from high school kids, college kids, house husbands, housewives, doctors, lawyers. In one class, I had a comedian, person wanted to be a comedian, a priest, and a hooker. Sounds like a joke, doesn't it? Yeah. Comedian, priest, and a hooker working in a comedy class. But really, it's for anybody. Nowadays, I get a lot of business people, too, because they want to be better at presenting, and they figure, hey, maybe if I'm humorous, it'll help me get my ideas across better. Low humor can't hurt, right? Basically, a 6-week course. They learn all the basics of stand-up comedy, how to write jokes, how to tell jokes. Basically, what they're doing is taking things from their own lives and making them funny on stage. So you can be funny with your friends, that's easy, but trying to make that funny on stage, that's where the real magic comes in. Because the same things don't work in the same places. So each week you go home, write your jokes, work on your jokes, you bring them into class, I go over them with you, I point out what works, then I point out what doesn't work, and if it doesn't work, this is one of the big differences in my class with all the other classes in the country. I will actually help you rewrite the joke and make sure it does work. Or I may just tell you.
So not only do you have this comedy class, which has been very successful for 25 years, you also do corporate comedy. You travel with corporate comedy.
I do.
And
that's my main job.
Now it's the main job over the comedy class?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. So let's take it to a brief showing of the corporate gig.
Humor breaks down that resistance, especially when you can laugh at yourself, poke fun at yourself. I was out at a mall a few weeks ago. I was looking around thinking to myself, boy, where were all these beautiful young women when I went to school, huh? Then it hit me. Daycare. Hey, let me tell you, that LASIK eye surgery thing, that should not be done in the back of a pickup truck. I don't care if you...
That was a promotional piece for his corporate gig. Briefly, you used to perform at a club where Robin Williams would come in, right?
Oh, yeah, sure. When you were in New York City, anybody could come in.
And he came in quite a bit.
Yeah, he used to come to the Comedy Cellar all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had times where I was at the comic strip where I'm getting ready to go on, and Eddie Murphy walks in, and the guys that own the club managed Eddie, and they go, Eddie's going to go up and do a few minutes.
Oh,
45 minutes later.
Chris Tucker does that too. He comes in, he'll do 45
Yeah, man, those guys are funny. They can go up and do whatever they want to do.
Jeffrey, I mean this. This was a big honor, my son, for you
thank
coming on. You made me the man I'm not today.
This is going on my resume.
Very good. Thank you. No, this is a lot of fun. Thank you. So we're going to bring you up at the end of the show to do the traditional Comics on Parole dance.
Sounds great.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you. And now let's welcome to a stage a young man who actually took one of the early classes of Mr. Jeffrey Justice. Let's welcome to the stage Mr. Mark Evans, a very accomplished comedian who's been a comedian 25 years, just got done, 22 years, let's not get technical here, and just got done performing at Mr. Louis Anderson's club. Welcome to the Parole Desk.
How's it going, man?
How are you doing? I'm giving you a little more time than you got the last time. You didn't get much time last time you were on here, did you? Well, we're going to give you a little more time. So what's new in your life?
You didn't prep me.
Prep you about what?
What we're going to talk about?
I don't know. We'll make it up as we go. You just got back from Now, you've been a comic for 22 years.
Just around Christmas. Yeah, actually Sunday night, this last week, was my 22nd year graduating with Jeff.
What was it like taking a class with Jeff?
Scary.
Really?
The graduation was scary. The class was great. I can remember, though, sitting at the bar at the back. I was 5th out of 16 that night, and I only had 2 people in the audience because I figured I didn't want to tell anybody because if I bombed, I didn't want them to see it. If it was good, they could see the tape. Well, when I suddenly realized when the lights went down, the music started playing, it was like any other night at the Punchline. It wasn't something special for the graduation. It was a regular night. The staff is selling drinks, they're selling food. And I was sitting at the back bar looking over at the door going, I could just leave. I don't want my money back. I could just leave. And I'm glad
it was nerve-wracking for me. But the first night, I was actually in the car at Whole Foods saying, I can't do this, I can't do this. And then I get there, he puts me up first. And which was great because you got over it. You got it over and you enjoyed the show. But were you real nervous though?
Petrified.
Yeah. Now you were a shy kid growing up.
Well, I wasn't a class clown or anything, but I was a DJ at Studebaker's and T-Birds here in Atlanta for several years. And when I quit doing that, I kind of missed the limelight, and I found out 6 minutes with a mic is a whole lot more limelight than 8 hours in a DJ booth. Because when you talk in a DJ booth, nobody's really listening. If you screw up what you say, you can just turn up the volume. And I was working the door at the Improv. Not the one now, but when they're where the Funny Bone used to be in Buckhead. And Kay Dodd came in. And I knew her from my Studebaker days. And she was working. And I was fascinated. I was like, how did you become a civilian and become a comic? And she told me about Jeff's class. So I think I had $300 in the bank.
Did she take your class?
She did. She was probably in the 3rd or 4th class, maybe the 2nd class I ever did.
Wow.
Yeah, and she actually helped teach them some too sometimes.
She did. She was responsible for actually turning my notes into a workbook.
Oh, yeah, I remember your workbook. Yeah, that's true.
And at the time, your class was $195. I had $300 in the bank. And I didn't hesitate to write the check because I figured, you know, 300, 100, I'm screwed either way.
And you're from a family of insurance people, so you didn't want to go into insurance, correct?
No.
So you wanted to be a comic. How'd you break that to your
Well,
mom?
I didn't actually know I wanted to be a comic. I was just doing this for fun. I met a whole bunch of new people that weren't borrowing money from me and didn't have any to loan anyway.
You went into it.
It was fun. And then actually about a month in, you took me with you. We went did a show in Noonan and the next night in Columbus.
Yeah.
And you gave me $50 a night to go as long as I could, and because you knew I didn't have that much time. And I can remember thinking, I was in my 30s.
Yeah.
$100 wasn't a lot of money. But to do this seemed like all the money in the world.
I mean, Jeff has given. This is like this is your life, Jeff. Jeff has given birth to some prominent comics: Mark Evans, Dan McGeevy, Landry,
Shep
Slater. Yeah, right. Hi, Shep. Landry, who just won the 2 biggest comedy contests in the country.
He's won the Boston, which is like the toughest one to win, as far as I'm concerned.
And just a nice guy. Yeah. Did you participate in any contests ever?
I've done a few. I actually produced one. It was one of the most successful ones, the Carnival Comedy Challenge we did for 4 years.
Oh, the cruise ships.
Yeah, finding talent for them. And actually, I was just telling Jeff a little while ago, when I was hitting about 5 or 6 years in, I'd been around most of the country. I've done some cruise ships. I was really feeling good about myself, thinking, man, I may not be his top graduate, but I'm up there. And then I went to see the movie Varsity Blues.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Really.
And Ron Lester, the guy that played Bubba, that was his name. Ron Lester was in my workshop. I went, oh, there's a big slice of humble pie, because he's there. He's up on in the movie.
Was it any of the other movies after that?
He was in one of those parodies of a lot of teen movies. He wore his jersey and his cowboy hat, so people know who he was.
He was also in a TV series called like Personal or something
People.
like that.
Yeah. People.
It lasted like one season, I think.
Now, he still got it.
Now, what we're going to do, you recently performed at Louis Anderson's.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, that was a blast. The guy was the nicest guy in the
very
world.
nice guy, yeah.
It was a little tour running out in Vegas. It's at the Plaza Hotel. I got to open for him.
They moved it from, where was it before? It was off the Strip.
Palace Station.
Palace
or
Station.
Something, yeah.
So was it a big crowd there?
Yeah, he drew pretty well, and he also sold VIP meet and greet tickets before the show. They could come in and sit with him, and the guy's smart. I mean, not to take anything away from him, but he is on the latter side of his career. But he's not going to miss a chance to talk to fans. So he spoke to them, and then after the show, he has a store there. And I should have worn the shirt. He
I
was so nice to me.
Yeah,
he it's T-shirts on, and some really nice
Show a picture
shirts.
with him. Oh, you did? Okay.
And at the end of it, he goes, yeah, I can pick you out a shirt. And he loaded back in his dressing room. He's like loading up a bag full of drinks and snacks because he knew the hotel I was in was crap. So he's just like,
very nice guy.
Oh yeah.
He's on Remington Steele. If you go to YouTube, put Louis Anderson Remington Steele. He's actually on the show.
Did you know he was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
What did he do with that?
He got cut out. Mostly,
I did not know
he was
that.
The flower delivery guy. You remember the nurse that came to the door and said the rhyme that almost dropped the F-bomb?
Yeah.
He's standing. Nobody's looking at him because he's looking at the half-dressed nurse. If you look to the right, there's the flower guy. That's him. Right next to him.
Oh, wow. Yeah, very, very, very nice guy. He was a unique comic at the time. I was watching a lot of his stuff.
He's still great.
He's got a great podcast. Have you ever heard his podcast? Every comic should listen to Louis Anderson's podcast. Very educational. He has legends on his podcast. Very, very good podcast. Now, right now, let's take it to Mark's set.
Which one did you take it
from? See, we have this big animosity problem with the South between New York City. You know what it is? It's a language barrier. We are separated by a common language. I mean, basically, we have words and phrases in the South you've never heard in New York City, right? Like y'all, reckon, fixin'. They don't know what that means. It's not their fault. Please, thank you, may I? Talk to them. They're not bad. I wanted to bring Mom home with me. I really did, but I'm on the road all the time. Private nursing services are going to hit me up for like $200 a day. Can't afford that. Figured out what I could do though. For a one-time fee of $300, I went to PetSmart. At least hear me out before you judge me. Damn. No, I got me one of those invisible electronic fences, Oh, come on, y'all. I put a brand new string of pearls on that collar. Mom could not wait to put it on. Well, you know how they get at that age. they just wander off. So now if Mom tries to get past the mailbox, it's most of y'all are laughing. That's good. Some of y'all here take shit a little too seriously tonight, But that's my fault. I should have started off this way. Mom's fine. No scars, no burn marks, nothing. I'll be honest, it only worked for like 2 weeks. By then even she figured it out and clawed the damn thing off. So. Well, you know what that means. I'd go all the way back to PetSmart, drop another $20 to get one of those big plastic combs. I thought I had the problem solved till Mom went out in the rain, damn near drowned. I gotta pump some holes. She's out in the middle of the yard blowing bubbles, trying to stay alive. On the front porch yelling at her. It's like, Mom, save yourself, look down. Well, I wanted to go to a Ripley's. Did you know they don't have them in Alabama? The one state in the union that should build a shrine to the damn place. The closest thing I could find to Ripley's, believe it or not, in Alabama, was Uncle Earl's house. You ain't gonna believe this shit. That's what went. Freakiest day of my life, y'all. It all started when I bought the tickets. The guy selling me the tickets had 2 prosthetic legs and real feet. I know. Then the first exhibit I saw scared me so bad I ran back to my hotel, locked the doors, pulled the covers over my head. Because standing there when I walked in was a pair of Siamese cousins. Siamese cousins. Yeah, if y'all didn't get the Amish joke, this was going to fuck you up. Well, for those of you that got that, let me tell you this. They were gone.
Very good set.
And those are the Carnival Legend.
And how long ago was that?
A couple years ago.
And you said some of these jokes at Louis then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a good set. Yeah, that's a good joke. I don't remember the one about the legs with the real feet. No. That's a funny. Now, how long did you do cruise ships?
I've done them off and on since '99.
Now, briefly, I just met a comic named Warren Durso, and you've become friends with Warren Durso.
Very recently.
He tours the country. He's going to have a room in Vegas, and you're looking for a room with Warren Durso here in Atlanta.
Actually, several cities, but we've got some spots.
And
in Atlanta.
What you didn't realize, he was just on the front of Esquire magazine just about a month ago as the country's ugliest comic. Let's post a picture of Warren Durso. He's the country's ugliest comic, but he's extremely funny. And he's a friend. They're going to have a worm, and neither one of you wear clothes during the show, right?
I've never met the guy. I'm just...
Okay, take Warren away.
Take a picture of me. Okay. I have more hair on my chest.
Listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. It was a big honor. Was there any other question I needed to ask you? No, I don't think so.
I don't have any food.
Thank you. Oh, wait. Okay, briefly, let's get Jeff Justice up here real fast to promote the Grit Bits, yes. And then we're going to bring Vanessa up and her farewell, No, Tommy can't come up this time.
Well, you got to try them.
I tried them before. They're great.
No, you haven't had these because they just came out from Metro Cheese. Try them.
Very good, very good.
And it'll be great because we...
Pretty. Sit up.
Get to listen to you choke on the
Awesome. Very good. This is the
Grits Bits, gritsbits.com.
Where can they get the Grits Bits at?
The Atlanta History Center, Margaret Mitchell House, any place that sells really old stuff.
And the
except
website,
our food.
And gritsbits.com. His former country singing wife makes these in her very own home.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No. Oh, that'd be against the law.
There's
no makes them at a great bakery down here in Georgia.
Okay. Thank you again, Jeff. We're going to have you on in a minute. And let's get Vanessa over here so she can tell us what she's going to be doing for the summer, because she won't be on the rest of the summer. Yeah. And then we'll do the traditional Comics on Parole dance.
I'm a miss for this. I know. Why don't we just wait till she comes back and then we'll come back?
Okay.
See, there we go.
That's right. We're ending the show for the summer until she comes back. Briefly, tell us where you're going to be.
Okay, well, I get repeated offers from people all the time. I finally had some more karaoke people that made it through. So this is going to be the new weekly lineup starting next week. Sundays at G's Midtown, doing the karaoke show there from 5:30 to midnight. Monday nights at Las Margaritas on Cheshire Bridge from 8 p.m. until 11, also with a karaoke show. They really, really seem to like this.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights back at G's Midtown for Sing for Your Supper karaoke. You guys can find all the details about that on my website. That is also at G's Midtown. Thursday night, starting next week, I will be at Rose and Crown in Marietta, also doing karaoke. Friday night, still DJing at Cosmopolitan, all your favorite top 40, except for the last Friday of the month, which is Swank down in Midtown at 10th and Piedmont. Also, Cinco de Mayo, I will be at McDonough. I forgot to write down the restaurant name, but it will be on my website after tomorrow. And Swim Across America is coming up on Sunday, May 3rd. I'll be DJing that for the 3rd year this year, and that's to benefit cancer research. We do we go to benefit the Aflac Children's Cancer Research Center, and it's an open water swim at Lake Spivey. You can still register to sign up. They do all different kinds of skill and age classes there as well. So you can find all the links for all of that on my website as well under the events page.
And I want you to send us pictures during the summer so we can post them.
I will.
Okay? Crazy pictures, silly pictures. No skinny dipping or anything, but silly. No, skinny dipping's fine. Okay, but pictures you can send us. Okay, at your events you're going to, and then tell us where we'll post where you're going to be at all summer.
Yes.
Okay.
And yes.
Thank you very much. Now, right now, man the table. The music thing, so we can do the traditional Comics on Parole dance. Tommy, you're welcome to get up here too. Everyone come up here. Let's do the traditional Comics on Parole jig.
We're going to get super country.
Play some super country music. Everyone get up here. Come on. Let's move it fast. The show's ending. No dilly duck. You come up here too. You don't want to come. Okay, guys. How does it go? Okay. Come on, Mark, get over here. Mark. Oh, we got Tommy in the box coming up here too. Thank you for tuning in to Comics on Parole. Watch us in 2 weeks when we don't know who will be on, but they will be here. Remember, wherever you go, there you are. And remember, go to www.harmonybooking.com for all your entertainment needs. Thank you. Hey, take it away.
You probably didn't even know it. I'm a fiddle player too.
Young man, young man.
Here to tell you, I just make a bet with you. Now you
Cut
go
it.
pretty